Reminiscences of a Stock Operator, Edwin Lefèvre. Written in 1923, this book still reads as though it were written about the trader sitting at a screen this morning. The names and the machines have changed, the fear and the greed have not. Core thesis. Reminiscences of a Stock Operator tells the story of Jesse Livermore, one of the most famous traders who ever lived, through a character named Larry Livingston. Livermore made and lost several fortunes across his career, and the book is the closest thing trading has to a founding text. Its central lesson is simple and brutal. Your real opponent is not the market. Your real opponent is yourself. Master that, and the market becomes something you can work with. Skip it, and no amount of skill or capital will save you. Livermore proved this the hard way. He understood markets better than almost anyone alive, and he still blew up more than once, because the enemy he could never quite beat was his own impulses. The art of sitting. Most traders believe the money is made in the buying and the selling. Livermore learned the opposite. The money is made in the waiting. As he put it, it was never his thinking that made the big money for him. It was his sitting. Picture yourself finally right on a large position. The trend is running your way. Then it wobbles, and the old itch returns. The itch to lock in the gain, to do something, to protect what you have. That itch is the enemy. The trader who spots a genuine move and then simply lets it work will take far more out of it than the trader who trims and re-enters all the way up. Sitting still feels like doing nothing, and the restless mind hates it. That is exactly why it is so rare and so valuable. This is also one of the hardest moments to face alone, and it is where Osiris Capital Trading Desk earns its place beside you. When a position is working and the urge to fiddle with it builds, Osiris Desk is already in management mode, coaching the plan you made in calm, the trail, the press, or the clean exit, and nothing else. It absorbs the itch to act, so the trade gets the room it earned. The big move and the noise. Livermore split all price movement into two kinds. Most of what happens on a chart is noise, the aimless chop of a normal day, driven by short-term flow and headlines that mean nothing an hour later. Buried inside all that noise, a few times a year, is a big move, a real trend that comes from a genuine shift in the world. The whole game in his eyes was to wait for one of those big moves to take shape and then position for it, and to treat everything else as a distraction. Most traders do the reverse. They trade the noise all day long, hunting for an edge in the one place it does not really live. Then they are too worn out or too fully committed to be there when the move that actually mattered finally arrives. Probe first, then press. Livermore never bought his full position in one go, and the method he used instead is one of the most practical lessons in the book. He would open a small probe first, a fraction of the size he intended, purely to test whether the market agreed with him. If the trade moved his way, he added. If it moved his way again, he added again, always into strength, never into weakness. By the time the move was running in earnest, he was fully loaded, and every single ad had been paid for by the market proving him right. Reverse that picture and you have what most losing traders do. They start at full size, and when the market disagrees, they add more at worse prices to lower the average, doubling their exposure exactly when the evidence says they are wrong. Livermore's rule points the other way. Average up into a winner, never down into a loser. Let the market's behavior, not your hope, decide whether you deserve more size. Osiris Desk manages pressing in exactly this shape. It only supports adding to a position that is already winning, each ad smaller than the last, with the whole pyramid held under one composite stop. So the press stays a reward for being right instead of a bet on being rescued. The urge to get back even. Livermore traced nearly every disaster of his career to one specific pattern, and it is worth burning into memory. After a loss, you feel a pull to win that exact money back on the same instrument, in the same direction, right now. It feels like sensible problem solving. It is really the ego refusing to let the loss be final. Watch how it unfolds. You take a loss, so you jump straight back in to recover it. The market keeps going against you, so you double down. It moves further, you add again, and a small clean loss becomes a crater. Livermore did this at the peak of his sophistication, not just as a beginner. The cure is to treat a closed trade as genuinely closed. The next trade is a separate event. The market does not know you are down, and it will not hand you a refund. The trader who can walk away from a loss completely is the one who survives. The get-back-even reflex is also one of the patterns Osiris Desk watches for by name. It knows a trader's recurring leaks, and when a fresh entry starts to look like a revenge trade, the same market moments after a stop-out, it says so out loud before the click rather than after the damage. Observation over opinion. Livermore believed the trader with strong opinions about where the market ought to go will be punished for them. The trader who instead watches where the market actually is going and moves with it gets paid. Listen to your own inner voice for a single session, and you will hear the opinions everywhere. The market should pull back here. It cannot break this level. It has surely gone too far. Every should and every cannot is an opinion, and every opinion tempts you to fight the tape. The market owes you no particular behavior. It is simply doing what it is doing. Your edge comes from reading that accurately, not from being clever about what it deserves to do. Observation is also exactly where Osiris Desk begins every session. Before the open, it has already read the overnight highs and lows and the previous day's levels across the major indices. And as the first bars print, it grades the day as it actually is, a trend from the open or a range-bound shop. So the trades that follow lean with the day instead of arguing with it. Keeping what you make. There is a moment in every good run where the job quietly changes. You have stopped trying to make money and started needing to keep it, whether you notice the shift or not. Livermore was blunt about the maths that makes this so unforgiving. Lose half your account, and you need to double what is left just to get back to flat. Lose 90%, and you need a tenfold return simply to break even. Capital preservation is not timid. It is the ground that aggressive growth stands on. The trader who protects the base through every small drawdown gets to compound. The trader who lets one bad stretch run unchecked goes back to zero and learns nothing, because the lesson needed them to stay in the game. Livermore made and lost his fortune several times over. Had he protected his capital the way he told others to, history would remember him as one of the steadiest traders ever, rather than one of the most dramatic. Standing apart from the crowd. There is a hard truth running under the whole book. To succeed, a trader has to operate in a place where most people are wrong most of the time. If the crowd's instincts worked, everyone would get rich, which is impossible. So the winning move is usually the uncomfortable one. You buy when the news is bleak and the selling is exhausted. You sell when everyone around you is euphoric. You hold a winner while the crowd grabs its small profits, and you cut a loser instantly while the crowd sits and hopes. Livermore was honest about the cost of this. Trading at a high level is a lonely craft. You are constantly out of step with the people and the headlines around you. The trader who lasts has accepted that loneliness as part of the job rather than a passing phase. Why the patterns never die. Livermore's most enduring claim is that the patterns repeat because human nature repeats. A panic bottom in 1907 feels the same as a crash in 2008 or a collapse in 2020, because the same fear is running the same script through different people. A greed-soaked top looks the same in every era. That is why a book from 1923 still lands today. The instruments and the speed change constantly. The human being placing the trade does not. Once a trader truly absorbs this, they stop chasing every shiny new method and start deepening their command of the handful of patterns that never go out of date. The life behind the trading. The book carries one more lesson that its author could not have planned. Livermore mastered the technical and the psychological game at the highest level, and in the end, it still did not protect him. Years after the book appeared, after another heavy financial blow, his story ended in tragedy. It is a somber note, and it belongs here for a reason. Mastery of the craft is necessary, but on its own it is not enough. The trading has to sit inside a life that stays in balance, with rest, structure, and something solid beyond the screens. The trader who wins for decades is not only the one with the best read on the tape, it is the one who keeps the work from swallowing everything else. Bottom line. This is the source text for almost everything that came later in trading psychology. Read it for the texture, for the lived feel of trading at the highest level, with every psychological scar on display. The patience, the sitting, the probe and the press, the danger of revenge, the primacy of observation, the discipline of protecting capital, all of it appears here first, decades before it was refined into modern frameworks. Livermore gives you the human reasons the rules exist, which is the surest way to actually follow them. Few things separate a consistent trader from an inconsistent one, as cleanly as whether ideas like these actually survive contact with a live account. Surviving that contact is exactly what Osiris Desk was built for, an advanced platform for trader development and disciplined trade management, and the flagship of Osiris Capital. It was built to put exactly these lessons to work at the screen, not just to store them. It coaches the sitting Livermore preached, presses winners the way he pressed them, and names the revenge trade before it takes the money, until patience and observation are simply how you trade.